Hey there, this is Alexis Knight. Welcome to True Crime, the Court of Public Opinion. In this episode, we're going to dive into one of the most infamous murder cases in modern history, the trial of Jodi Arias. In 2008, Jodi was arrested for the brutal killing of her ex-boyfriend, Travis Alexander, in his Mesa, Arizona home. The crime was shocking in both its brutality and the relationship between the two. Arias claimed she acted in self-defense, but the evidence told a much darker story. This case captivated the media, sparking debates across the country about Arias' mental state, the nature of their relationship, and whether her actions were premeditated or driven by fear. Was Jodi Arias a manipulative killer who carefully planned the murder of Travis Alexander? Or was she a victim of abuse who acted out of desperation? As we unravel the details of this high-profile case, you are going to see how the defense and prosecution presented vastly different narratives. Stay with me as we dig into the twisted story of love, betrayal, and murder in the Jodi Arias case, and you are going to have the chance to decide, was this premeditated murder or a case of self-defense gone wrong? The trial of Jodi Arias presented the court and the public with a compelling and often confusing narrative. On June 4th in 2008, Travis Alexander was found dead in his home in Mesa, Arizona, his body showing signs of a violent attack. He had been stabbed 27 times. His throat was slit, and he had been shot in the head. At first, Arias denied being involved. Later, she admitted to killing him, but claimed it was in self-defense. This case quickly became a media sensation, partly because of the graphic nature of the crime and partly because of the unusual relationship between Arias and Alexander. They had met in 2006 at a conference for prepaid legal services, a business they both were involved in. Alexander was a practicing Mormon, and while their relationship began as romantic, it soon took a more complicated turn. According to friends, the couple had a tumultuous on-again, off-again relationship, filled with both passionate moments and intense arguments. The central question that the jury had to answer was, did Jodi Arias premeditate the murder of Travis Alexander, or did she kill him in a desperate act of self-defense? Jodi Arias and her defense team presented a narrative of a woman who had been trapped in an abusive relationship. According to Arias, Travis had become increasingly controlling and verbally abusive. Beyond the public persona of a devout Mormon, Travis allegedly pressured Arias to engage in sexual activities that conflicted with his religious beliefs, further complicating the power dynamics in their relationship. On the day of the murder, Arias claimed she was visiting Travis when an argument erupted. She said Travis became enraged after a sexual encounter, which led to a violent altercation. And according to Arias, Travis attacked her, and in a moment of panic and fear for her life, she grabbed a gun that he kept in his home and shot him in self-defense. Arias' defense team argued that she had been a victim of domestic violence, and the killing was a result of her trauma and her fear. They pointed to the tumultuous nature of their relationship and argued that Travis's aggressive behavior was escalating, leaving Jodi in a constant state of fear for her safety. The defense's central argument was that Jodi didn't plan to kill Travis. Instead, she reacted out of instinct to save her own life. Prosecution, on the other hand, well, they painted a very different story and a different picture of Jodi Arias. They argued that she was a jealous and manipulative woman who had been unable to accept the end of her relationship with Travis. When it became clear that Travis was moving on, possibly with other women, Jodi allegedly became enraged, and that rage drove her to kill him. The most damning evidence against Arias came in the form of forensic evidence and her own shifting stories. Initially, Jodi denied any involvement in Travis's death. She claimed she wasn't in Arizona at the time and even suggested that Travis might have been killed in a home invasion. But once investigators found photos of Arias and Travis together at his home on the day of the murder, photos that were time-stamped just moments before his death, her story changed. She then admitted to killing him, but insisted it was self-defense. Prosecution argued that this shift in her story was evidence of premeditation and a calculated attempt to cover her tracks. They pointed out that Jodi had driven from California to Arizona, a distance of over 1,000 miles, stopping along the way to buy gas in cash so there would be no credit card records of her trip. They also highlighted the fact that she had dyed her hair dark and rented a car in an attempt to avoid being recognized. To the prosecution, these were clear signs that Jodi had planned the murder in advance. Perhaps the most chilling detail was the way in which Travis was killed. The sheer brutality of the attack: 27 stab wounds, a slit throat, and a gunshot to the head. This all suggested a crime of passion fueled by rage. The prosecution argued that Jodi Arias was consumed by jealousy and anger, and that the killing was the culmination of her inability to control Travis or accept that their relationship was over. Beyond the forensic evidence, both the prosecution and defense spent much of the trial trying to answer one question: who was the real Jodi Arias? Was she the soft-spoken, articulate woman who took the stand in her own defense, claiming to be a victim of abuse? Or was she the manipulative, jealous ex-girlfriend who carefully plotted to kill Travis in a fit of rage? During her time on the stand, Arias described a relationship in which she felt powerless, controlled, and used by Travis Alexander. She told the jury that she had been emotionally manipulated by Travis, who allegedly kept her a secret lover while dating other women. According to her, the murder was a final act of desperation after years of being mistreated and devalued. Prosecution, however, portrayed her as a master manipulator who was using the guise of abuse to justify a premeditated murder. They pointed out inconsistencies in her testimony and noted that her behavior following the murder didn't match someone who acted in self-defense. After the killing, Jodi didn't call the police. Instead, she left Arizona, cleaned up the crime scene, and even attended Travis's memorial service with friends and family, pretending to be a grieving ex-girlfriend. The prosecution argued that these were not the actions of someone traumatized by a moment of panic, but rather the behavior of someone trying to cover their tracks. Now let's get into the media, because adding to the complexity of this case was the overwhelming media attention it received. No doubt you saw all about it. The trial became a spectacle, with cable news shows providing almost daily updates and courtroom footage. Jodi Arias herself became a household name, with public opinion largely split between those who believed her claims of abuse and those who saw her as a cold-blooded killer. The media's portrayal of Jodi as everything from a femme fatale to a victim of domestic violence only highlighted the sense of drama around the case. And that's a big deal here. It became not just about a murder trial, but a story of obsession and betrayal and revenge. And it captivated viewers across the country. Court of public opinion was just as divided as the actual jury, with strong opinions on both sides. So here's the question we're left with. Was Jodi Arias a woman driven to kill out of fear for her life? Or was she a calculating murderer who couldn't bear to let Travis Alexander go? As we continue exploring the facts of the case, you'll have the chance to decide for yourself. Was Jodi Arias a victim of circumstance, or did she plan and execute a cold-blooded murder? Now, to fully understand the Jodi Arias case, we need to dive deeply into the events that led up to the murder of Travis Alexander, their complicated relationship, and the key pieces of evidence presented during the trial. Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander, they met in September of 2006 at a prepaid legal services conference in Las Vegas. Now, at the time, Travis was a successful motivational speaker and a salesman. He was also a devout Mormon who placed significant value on his religious beliefs. Jodi, who lived in Palm Desert, California, was immediately drawn to Travis's charisma and charm.